TP-Link Archer BE9700 V1.60 Internet Setup. To completely configure the internet and network settings for your router, begin by ensuring the device is powered on and physically connected to your computer.
Accessing router management. The first phase of this setup process is accessing the router's local management interface.
Open a standard web browser and type TP-Link-Wi-Fi.net into the address bar. When the login screen appears, enter the administrative password you created when first powering on the hardware and click Login to access the main dashboard.
Quick Setup and Tether app. From the main dashboard, you can choose between two quick setup methods.
You can either use the built-in web quick setup wizard by following the on-screen prompts or opt for mobile configuration. To use your smartphone, scan the QR code to download the TP-Link Tether application. Log in with your TP-Link ID, tap the plus icon, select wireless router, and follow the in-app deployment steps.
Manual internet configuration. If your environment requires specific parameters, you'll need to bypass the wizard and use manual setup.
Navigate to the Internet tab to define your physical WAN port. Verify that the Ethernet cable from your modem is securely connected to the router. Then, select the interface on your screen that matches your physical connection, choosing either the 10 gigabit or the 2.5 gigabit port based on your network speed.
Next, define your internet connection type based on your internet service provider's requirements. Dynamic IP is standard for cable and fiber services and may require a MAC address clone. Static IP requires manual entry of dedicated routing parameters. PPPoE is typically used on DSL networks and requires strict username and password authentication. If you select Dynamic IP, leave the default MAC address as is, unless your ISP specifically restricts access to a pre-registered device. In that case, you must select Clone. If your network requires a static IP, carefully input the exact IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, and primary DNS values supplied by your provider.
For deployments utilizing L2TP or PPTP tunneling, choose your protocol and enter the username and password provided by your ISP. You also need to select whether your secondary connection operates on a dynamic or static IP, enter the VPN server IP or domain name, and click Save.
With the internet connection established, proceed to the local wireless setup. Enter your desired wireless network name, or SSID, and create a secure password to protect local access. Click Next to review your settings, hit Save, and then reconnect your wireless devices using these new credentials. Access Point Mode Setup. If you want to extend an existing wired network instead of creating a new one, you can switch the router to Access Point Mode. Navigate to Advanced, select System, and click Operation Node. Choose the Access Point Mode option and click Save, which triggers a reboot. Once the router has fully restarted, connect it to your upstream gateway using an Ethernet cable. Log back in and configure your wireless names and passwords. Configuring IPv6 settings. For networks that support IPv6 architecture, additional configuration is required. Under the Advanced menu, select IPv6 and toggle the switch to enable it. Select your internet connection type based on your ISP's instructions. For a static IP, input the exact parameters and save. For dynamic IP setups using SLAAC or DHCPv6, click Advanced to input any secondary prefix data required by your ISP. Save it and click Renew to lease an address.
If your IPv6 relies on PPPoE, the router inherits your IPv4 credentials by default. If your ISP provided distinct IPv6 credentials, click Advanced Settings to enter them. For a 6-to-4 tunnel, verify your IPv4 connection is active, enter the required subnet data, and click Connect. Alternatively, select Pass-Through Bridge mode if specified by your provider.
Configure the local IPv6 network next. For Windows environments, it's recommended to set the assigned type to DHCPv6 or SLAAC plus stateless DHCP. Enter the address prefix provided by your ISP and click Save. To confirm everything is working, open the network map and click the router icon to verify your active internet connection. Network security. If you are exposing local services over an IPv6 network, you must configure your network security. Because the integrated IPv6 firewall blocks inbound access by default, you must explicitly authorize any local services, like file sharing. Under Firewall Rules, click Add. Choose your service type, enter the internal IP of your local server, specify the necessary port and protocol parameters, and click Save to enforce the rule. Is your network fully secured? Ensure your IPv6 firewall rules are active to protect your local servers. Always verify that the status toggle for any newly created firewall rule is set to active. This ensures your specific port forwarding is functional while the rest of your local IPv6 subnet remains locked down against external traffic.